Breaking. That's essentially Donald Trump's message to UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer right now in the payback. It's already devastating Britain in ways most people haven't even realized yet. If you're shocked by how quickly the special relationship crumbled, hit subscribe because this story gets much darker, and the economic consequences are about to hit British families. Directly, let's rewind to understand how we got here. For years, Starmer's Labour Party didn't just criticize Trump. They launched a systematic character assassination campaign. Sociopath dictator, racist, pathetic little man, neo-Nazi sympathizer threat to the international order. These weren't random Twitter rants from backbench MPs. These were calculated public attacks from Britain's now ruling party, including cabinet ministers who are currently running the country. Foreign Secretary David Lammy called Trump a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathizing sociopath. These same people now expect to be treated as trusted allies. Trump never forgets an insult ever. And now he's the most powerful man on earth again, with the world's largest economy and military at his disposal. January 28, 2025. Trump's second inauguration, world leaders flew in from every continent, desperate for FaceTime with the returning president. Multiple photo opportunities and private meetings lined up. Even controversial leaders got invitations. Starmer not even invited the Prime Minister of Britain, supposedly America's closest ally, was completely excluded from the ceremony. This wasn't an administrative oversight. This was a calculated public humiliation of Britain's Prime Minister. On the global stage, the diplomatic equivalent of crossing someone's name off the guest list and making sure everyone notices. The message to the world was crystal clear. Their leader insulted me, so I'm treating their entire country as irrelevant. But the inauguration snub was just Trump's opening move. The real punishment was about to begin. Here's where Starmer's problems go from embarrassing to potentially illegal. Labour Party officials didn't just insult Trump during his campaign. They actively interfered in the American election. They organized trips to send labor activists to battleground states, where they campaigned door-to-door for Kamala Harris. They posted on LinkedIn recruiting volunteers, offering to arrange housing for British citizens who wanted to help defeat Trump. When this became public, with the Federal Election Commission calling it illegal foreign interference in U.S. elections, they accused Labour of making illegal foreign contributions. Now, whether this was technically illegal under U.S. election law is debatable, but the political damage was catastrophic and permanent. Trump now views the Labour Party not as Democratic allies, but as foreign enemies who actively tried to rig his election and keep him out of power. In Trump's mind, Labour didn't just insult him. They declared war on him, and now he's declaring war back. Now comes the real punishment: economic warfare. Trump has already signaled his intention to impose crushing tariffs on countries that don't show proper respect to America, according to multiple reports. Britain is at the very top of that target list. Let's break down what this actually means for ordinary British families. The United States is Britain's largest single trading partner, accounting for over $280 billion in annual trade. British exports to America include everything from luxury cars and aerospace components to financial services and pharmaceuticals. If Trump follows through on his tariff threats, this would make British goods uncompetitive in American markets. Overnight, manufacturing jobs across the Midlands and North would disappear. The pound could plummet against the dollar, making everything from fuel to food more expensive for British consumers. He's frantically trying to arrange phone calls with Trump, practically begging for a meeting. But Trump's team, they're not even returning Britain's calls. UK diplomatic sources report that American officials are giving them the cold shoulder. At international meetings, Britain has effectively been blacklisted by the Trump administration. The depth of Trump's contempt became clear with the Peter Mandelson appointment. Starmer chose Mandelson as Britain's new ambassador to Washington, a man who embodies everything Trump despises about the globalist establishment, the EU integration project, and cozy relationships with international elites. To Trump's team, appointing Mandelson was like sending a deliberate insult, wrapped in diplomatic credentials. Reports from Washington suggest that Mandelson's name is being openly mocked. In Republican circles, some Trump advisors have reportedly called the appointment a joke and suggested that Mandelson might not even be granted proper access to senior American officials. This is unprecedented. The UK ambassador to the US is traditionally one of the most influential diplomatic posts in the world. Now, Britain's representative is being treated like a diplomatic pariah before he even arrives, as if economic warfare and diplomatic isolation weren't enough. Elon Musk has declared his own personal war on Starmer's government, and when the world's richest man decides to destroy your reputation, he has tools that most people can only dream of. Musk is using his X platform with its 500 million active users to systematically undermine Starmer's credibility on a global scale. He's focusing like a laser on Labour's biggest vulnerabilities, the grooming gang scandals, and what he calls their authoritarian instincts. But Musk isn't just tweeting complaints. He's openly endorsed Nigel Farage's Reform UK party, essentially using his global platform. He's threatening to fund Reform UK with massive donations that could revolutionize British politics. Think about the implications here. A foreign billionaire is now openly interfering in British politics, and significant portions of the British public are cheering him on. Why? Because they see Musk as standing up for British values that their own government has abandoned. The contrast couldn't be more stark or more humiliating for Starmer. While the elected Prime Minister of Britain was excluded from Trump's inauguration, guess who got the red carpet treatment? Nigel Farage, a man who holds no official government position, was paraded around Trump's inauguration events like visiting royalty. Trump called him spectacular and highly respected during his speech, praising him in front of a global television audience. Trump even claimed that Farage had taught him political tactics, saying, "I think he was watching my speeches in the European Parliament for many years before he decided to run." I know that to be true, whether this is accurate or not. The message was clear. Trump sees Farage as a legitimate political leader, and Starmer as irrelevant. The optics are politically devastating. Trump prefers Britain's opposition leader. Farage is now positioning himself as the only British politician who can restore the special relationship. Behind the closed doors of Westminster, Labour MPs are reportedly in full panic mode. The conversations happening in private are brutal and getting more desperate by the day. Senior Labour figures are quietly asking the question that terrifies party leadership: is keeping Starmer as leader worth destroying Britain's relationship with America? For the next 4 years, the mathematical reality is stark and getting worse every day. Trump has 4 years in office. 4 years to systematically punish Britain economically. 4 years to exclude Britain from key international negotiations. 4 years to build alternative relationships with other allies, while freezing Britain out. Multiple sources suggest that potential leadership challenges are being discussed. Names like Wes Streeting and Angela Reyna are being floated as figures who might be able to reset relations with Washington. The argument is simple. Starmer has become personally toxic to British national interests. But even a leadership change might not work. Trump's grudges run deep and he has a long memory. He might view any Labour leader as tainted by association with the party that insulted him and interfered in his election. Here's the issue that makes Starmer's position even more precarious: his government's perceived closeness to China. While Trump is building a global coalition, Starmer's team has maintained notably friendly relations with Beijing. Labour has been reluctant to take strong stances on Hong Kong, Taiwan, or Chinese human rights. They've avoided joining some US LED initiatives against Chinese technology companies. They've maintained trade relationships that Trump views as strategically dangerous. To Trump's administration, this makes Zama not just irrelevant, but potentially dangerous to American interests. Why would America share sensitive intelligence or military technology with a government that Beijing might influence? This creates a vicious cycle. The more Trump freezes Britain out, the more Britain might be tempted to strengthen ties with China as an alternative, but strengthening ties with China would only make Trump trust Britain. Even less political insiders are now openly discussing what was previously unthinkable: forcing Starmer out to save Britain's international relationships. The argument is becoming harder to ignore with each passing week. Every day Starmer remains Prime Minister, Britain's relationship with Trump's America deteriorates further. Every snub, every excluded meeting, every trade threat makes Britain look weaker on the global stage. Other countries are watching and adjusting their own relationships with Britain accordingly. The potential economic costs are staggering. If Trump follows through on major trade restrictions, Britain could face a recession that makes the 2008 financial crisis look mild. Manufacturing centers in the Midlands, aerospace jobs in the Southwest, Financial services in London. Some Labour MPs are starting to do the brutal political calculation. Is protecting one man's leadership worth potentially destroying the economic prospects of millions of British workers?